So let's turn to the greatest epic of the English language, at least of the Old English language, Beowulf, a long narrative poem, an epic about the life and death of a hero. The hero here is Beowulf. Nevertheless, the poem doesn't have a title in the original manuscript. The title is editorial, given to it by the editors later on. What I'm going to do now is just retell Beowulf using a comic here. If you are familiar with the story, you may just look at the next video, which gives you the analysis. All right. So what is it about? It's about Denmark. Okay. It's completely taking place in Denmark and later on southern Sweden. Not one Englishman in Beowulf, certainly a Viking theme. So taking place in Denmark, King Hrothgar is ransacked by a monster called Grendel, the grinder, the bone grinder, if you like. And Beowulf comes to his help. And later on, Beowulf becomes king and will fight the dragon. So, how does it all start? First of all, these are the dramatis personae, if you like, the ones you might want to know. Hrothgar, he is the king of the Danes. Wealhtheow is his queen. Beowulf, a warrior of the Geats, southern Sweden. Grendel is a monster. Grendel has a mother. She doesn't have a name, Grendel's mother. Okay, Wiglaf, Beowulf's friend, who will fight with him in the end. And there is a dragon. And there are many others, but these are the ones you might want to know. So, how does it start? I mean, it starts retelling the story of Herod, how it was. Great court, King Hrothgar's court. Here's the mead hall where the heroes ate together around the campfire. Had a merry time. The king looked after them. He was a very good king, as always said, Hrothgar, and giving rings and treasure to his warrior, who in return fought for him. And this would be the old and hoary king, Hrothgar, and one of his warriors. All right. What happens is, and this is a very pagan concept, that a demon, a monster, becomes envious of all the merriment in the mead hall and decides to put an end to it by ransacking it, killing the heroes, destroying Herod, and so on. And this is Grendel, and here we see Grendel coming to Hrothgar's mead hall. Going through the walls and, of course, smashing everything in his way. I mean, he's a cannibal, eating the heroes alive. This is Grendel. Okay, but this man here, Beowulf, he learns of Hrothgar's plight across the sea, across the Kattegat, and decides to help him and come with a band of warriors to help Hrothgar kill Grendel, or to kill Grendel himself. And here we see Beowulf. The important thing is the picture is well done, gold all over, which already makes you realize he's one of the greatest heroes of his times. So he comes to King Hrothgar's help. Here he stands in front of him and says, Hrothgar, I'm here to help you with my warriors. I either will kill Grendel or I will die in the event. Okay. Why he does that, I will give you the background information later on. Okay. Why he does that. So there's good reason why he does it. Hrothgar accepts the offer. Accepts the offer because he knows what a great hero Beowulf is. Who has killed many monsters before, sea monsters here, which is known in all the Germanic world. Down there's another warrior who envies Beowulf when these stories are recounted. Okay, so what they decide is they just will do what they always do at night, sleep around the campfire and wait for the monster to appear, and Beowulf will then fight it. Okay, And this actually happens. The monster comes and Beowulf fights it barehanded because, I mean, Grendel, that's the important thing, cannot be destroyed, killed by a weapon. He's immune to swords, if you like. So what Beowulf actually does, he rips off Grendel's arm, and the monster leaves and goes back to his lair, where he will die, of course, eventually, because with a ripped off arm, he will bleed to death. Okay, but, I mean, Grendel goes back to die in his lair, but they all celebrate, not knowing that Grendel has a mother who's even more sinister than Beowulf is. And here she comes. And when they're all asleep again, I mean, Grendel's mother goes and takes on heroes with them and eats them alive and so on. So it's not over by just killing Grendel. They live, the monsters, down in a lake, on the bottom of a lake. I mean, lake always doors to the pagan underworld. We come to that. And Beowulf says, I mean, I'm going to solve this problem too. I will go down there and kill Grendel's mother. It may take some time, but I know what I'm doing, or I will die in the event. Okay, anyway, so he dives down into the deep waters, Beowulf does, and down there he encounters Grendel's mother and starts to fight with her. She may not be killed by any sword as well, but, I mean, he finds in the Calder a special sword which was forged by a particular swordsmith, a pagan underworld god, we may say today, but somebody hunting, who knows what he did, and Beowulf kills her. But her blood ate the blade. I mean, even this sword is, in a way, destroyed, at least part of it, by Grendel's mother's blood. Okay, and Beowulf is, of course, when he returns, hailed by King Hrothgar as the greatest hero alive and gets a lot of treasure. Treasure for him, not important as riches, but, of course, to show to when he returns home to his king Higelac that he did his job right, because Hrothgar rewarded him. So there's that. They celebrate a lot, and both monsters dead. Now we have a big gap, probably something like 50 years. Beowulf now is an old king in his own country of the Geats. Okay, yes, and something happens, and it is that a dragon guarding a big treasure is disturbed and goes on behaving very Grendel-like towards Beowulf's people. And Beowulf decides, I mean, at least, he's probably in his 70s now, to put an end to that too. Now, and fights it. Now, the thing is, and this is the tragedy of it all, that his warriors desert him. They are so afraid of the dragon that Beowulf has to fight the dragon almost alone, if it were not for, well, here it does, breaking the thing, for one of his friends, a Wiglaf. Wiglaf is the only one who helps Beowulf. And that's the worst thing that can happen to a warrior. I mean, that's to a warrior king, that his warriors desert him. And we already get to know in Beowulf that when the Swedes learn that Beowulf was deserted by his own men, they will certainly come and wipe the tribe out. Well, this is what will happen, but it doesn't happen in Beowulf. But we get to know that it will happen sooner or later. So Beowulf fights a dragon with only one hero, Wiglaf, helping him, and he dies in the event. Poem almost over, except for the fact that Beowulf is, of course, getting a pagan burial, okay, insofar that he is burned. And there's that. So what we see is one hero fighting against monsters. Question always: is it allegorical or to be taken at face value? I think there's a lot of allegory in it. Don't underestimate that. That the monsters may stand or symbolize something else. Thing is, yes, we know that after Beowulf, everything will go down the drain. Beowulf's people are going to be destroyed, and we get to know that Heorot, King Hrothgar's court, is going to burn down as well. So, this is that. Yeah, this is more or less the story of Beowulf, and we come to the analysis and the cultural issues in what is going to follow.